Early September 2022, Rico, an African-American black male in Memphis, Tennessee at the time, decided to get in his 2018 Ford Fusion and drive to an undetermined location. Upon reaching the Mississippi Bridge, he continues down the highway, taking the route as if going to Marion, Arkansas, but bypassing the exit. As Rico continues his new journey, an escape from regular routines, he would soon find himself immersed in the beauty of Arkansas countryside. As the afternoon begins to settle in, Rico spots a road sign saying now entering the state of Missouri. It was then that Rico knew that St. Louis was his destination. Upon arriving in St. Louis, the night had already begun to settle, giving Rico little time to enjoy the nightlife. Rico finds a park downtown by a marathon race that was taking place. He parks, converses with a family member for a while who gave him site destination tips, then proceeded to tour the streets, then realizing that mostly everything was shutting down or already closed. Returning to his car, Rico started to explore the city with his windows down, enjoying the crisp of St. Louis air. Rico then explored multiple areas where he could sleep peacefully in his car, but things wasn't looking so promising. Rico then drove until he found a little back street behind a gas station with what looked like a warehouse on the opposite side. As Rico parked on that street, Rico would first sit there with the car off and observe traffic patterns to determine the frequency of people passing by via cars or on foot. He'd spot a few walkers coming from the gas station and occasionally maybe a car or two. After time passes, Rico would take a glimpse in his rearview mirror, and before he takes his eyes off it, he spots a black African-American male sitting in his back seat, head slightly down while making eye contact with Rico. He had an expression of defeat on his face as if he was giving up. Rico does a double take as an attempt to confirm a person was indeed in his back seat, but no one was there. Surprised by this experience, Rico's mind started to race, wondering what this experience meant. And just like that, Rico's energy was back in operation, not feeling drowsy anymore. Rico cranked up his car and toured the city for something to eat. He found a great deal at White Castle, a restaurant he always heard about but never had an opportunity to experience. Just like a Crystal Burger, but the original small-sized mini square burgers that took the North by storm. Rico then finds a parking space downtown and sleeps overnight. The next day, Rico returned home, not forgetting the guy in his backseat experience. Rico would wait on God for revelation about him, although Rico tried to find the guy via social media, filtering searches to St. Louis only, knowing it was far-fetched. Later one morning in October, God woke Rico up early in the morning around 4-ish a.m. At 5 a.m., God told Rico to turn on the channel news on Channel 5. Rico did what was instructed, unaware of what to expect. Rico tuned in the morning news and didn't see anything significant that he knew of. But Rico kept it on the channel, knowing that God instructed him to do that for a reason. Around almost afternoon, breaking news was on the channel. There was a school shooting located in St. Louis. After hearing the location, Rico tuned in, remembering his experience of the guy in his back seat. Rico instantly looks up Orlando Harris. And to his surprise, he was indeed the very person he had seen in his back seat that night while in St. Louis, Missouri. God's revelation about him was sweet and sour to Rico's mind. The fact that Rico was in that city in September, Rico knew that God was instructing Orlando somehow in Rico's direction, but Orlando didn't make it. One of the results of free will. Rico felt saddened about the guy Orlando. As it turns out, he was suffering from mental health, dealing with family issues and social anxiety at school. And even today, Rico would always remember how the expression on his face was a cry for help. Although his only help, who is God, was there the whole time, placing someone from out of state within his reach to carry out the recovery plan that God had for him and Rico himself. It could have been a conversation, a new friend, etc. Rico often reminisced how he was also going through situations with his family during that particular time, which Rico knew that maybe God would use Rico's experience to further guide Orlando with his, and vice versa. And yet, this is another testimony of God's willingness to be there even when everything else says that he isn't. God will never leave us. Many often leaves him. Rico prays with all his heart that God keeps him like he knows God keeps those who call on him.